Good morning. How are you today? It's a beautiful day. It's in the 40s. That's kind of nice. Not t-shirt weather, but pretty decent. Um, I love reading the headlines today about the impeachment of Trump, the second one. Uh, this guy's been a tragic figure since before the general public knew him. He so believes in the lie, the big lie, and he doubled down on that philosophy of life with the last election. He told everybody he won when all the numbers were that he lost. He told everybody there was a fraud when 60 courts said, you don't have any evidence, where's the beef? He attacked state legislatures, and they all confirmed the vote. He sought in every way possible to get substitute electors, but he couldn't do that. And then finally, he assaulted the chief legislative body in America, the Congress. In a way, this was nothing new. He'd been usurping Congress. He'd been usurping the courts. He'd been ignoring subpoenas. He had been, hunkering down, concealing what he was doing. And his biggest offenses in office, I guess, were that the interference of Russia to win the first election, and probably helping in the second election, the efforts to make it difficult to send in absentee ballots, DeJoy, but we knew about that early enough to do something about it. His incitement to violence in small ways, even as a candidate, getting more direct and larger. It doesn't matter if you hit their head and so forth. Drawing an alliance, as dictators have in the past, with the police element, trying to have them associate themselves with him, and not just in function, but in spirit as well. And there's no question he's assembled a bunch of ditto heads that defy the facts as they are. But the worst, of course, the crowning crime achievement in his life was the assault on the legislature to overrun their confirmation of Biden as the president-elect by a simple pro forma count of electors. And what he did, it appears, is that Republicans actually gave tours the day before the riot that assaulted the Hill. Tours to people who were active in this assault on the Capitol. We're going to find out things in the days ahead of those people that didn't vote for impeachment that show they were more than complicit. They were conspirators in overthrowing our government. If you were on the Hill yesterday, and I was not, but if you were on the Hill, when you walked the corridors, you saw soldiers all over the Capitol. That's the sign of a government under siege. That's a government that has to assert itself, that has to crawl back out of this. Now, the impeachment effort has operated on several levels successfully. First of all, it did attract Republicans, but only 5% of the Republican caucus, with 10 members of Congress. Influential, strongly stated, but it didn't quite release, the ethical nature, the impulse to be legal, the fulfillment of an oath to preserve and protect the Constitution. But those 10 did, and that may have taken some guts. Where is Trump now? He's isolated. He is twitless, if you will. He won't have the PGA Tour at his New Jersey golf course. Doors are closing in every direction, as they should, for public enemy number one. Ironically, he's even disloyal in the end to those who helped bring him to the dance. Rudy Giuliani, who's done everything conceivable possible, who's asked for $20,000 a day, and Trump reportedly is not paying it. Last night, a bunch of assistant U.S. attorneys from the Southern District circulated a letter telling Rudy to cease and desist and to correct his misconduct. I don't know that it means much more than another example of how we recoil from such misconduct. Corporations reacting against Trump. All of this, I think, is encouraging. The question now is, how do we seal the deal? And I think we go to the Senate as quickly as we can to try to convict him, and we may succeed at it. But even if we don't, it should be done. The question is when, and the answer is now, tomorrow, the next day. And when do we take over the Senate? We take over the Senate the day that Georgia certifies the election of the two Democrats who tip the Senate toward us. So it could be as early as the 15th. If it was the 15th, we should do it that day. In my opinion, we should do it tomorrow, do it today, not wait at all. And what's at stake? A couple of things. I think I may have mentioned an activist friend of mine said that people should leave up their signs on their lawns so we know who the really bad people are. I have a similar feeling about this vote. The ones who vote for impeachment, that's the bridge to the future between the Republicans and the Democrats. The ones who are against conviction for impeachment, those are the enemy within. And of those people, I assume that Hawley and Cruz are going to stand tall to the end. They should be ejected from the Senate. No matter what happens with the impeachment, they should be gone. We have to send a message that America has certain rules. And if you want to join the body that supposedly represents America, and you are one of two people who represent the state from which you hail, well, then you've got to step up to the plate and convince us that you really do obey the law. You do preserve and protect the Constitution. You do adhere to the facts, that when the facts are that Biden won, then we deal with that. That's a peaceful transition in a democracy. So I'm very encouraged by the vectors. Probably like you, I didn't expect that we would have this continuous war between what is deadly wrong, compromises our republic, and what is right, which is to follow the law in the election. I think Biden is being a little timid about dealing with this problem, because this is one of those things, if you don't deal with it now, it'll get worse and you'll be dealing with it tomorrow or the next day at a time that's even more inconvenient than the beginning of a new administration. And it's not lost on me that we had the worst day in terms of deaths yesterday from the virus, that we're giving the vaccine to many fewer people than we expected. So this is going to take a lot longer. So I think that if you're right or talk to anyone, tell them, get us to the Senate immediately. Get those votes certified in Georgia. Get America back on track. And do not be faint of heart about dealing with this crisis. This is of equal importance, if not more so, because if our government's not working, then nothing else works. The million unemployed we have, the people who need stimulus, the people who need the vaccine, the nation that needs infrastructure, the justice bills that are waiting, none of it happens if we don't have a secure and stable government. So I am encouraged, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. So be well. Hope it's as comfortable where you are as it is here right now. Bye-bye.